Okay, so I love weirdcore and dreamcore and liminal spaces, obviously. That should be pretty apparent since over the last 3 years I've uploaded actually 500 videos about them. But the Backrooms level in today's video is a conglomeration of all of them. This level is full of weirdcore and dreamcore and nostalgia and unnerving liminal spaces. It's level 99, or Animoya, as it's been nicknamed, and let me tell you, when I say this is heaven for people like me who just want to fade away into these obscure liminal spaces. Just make sure to avoid the mushrooms and you'll probably be okay. Probably. Without any more talking, let's hop right into this level explanation. This one's crazy. Let's get into it, shall we? Level 99 of the Backrooms is classified as highly unstable and very unpredictable, and it's such a strange place that it can't even be given a regular class, like 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's just unstable and unsecure. The level takes the overall appearance of a twisted and entangled environment full of anomalous properties and locations. Think of chutes and ladders, but with liminal space world boxes. And it's chocked full of a bunch of special parts and zones. The two main areas are a dreamy and surreal looking landscape, and the other one is the other several subspaces that can be accessed from those dreamy landscapes. These subspaces have warped and blended together, and you'll hear all about it, no worries, I'm gonna go over all of them in this video. This level has a nostalgic effect, similar to the one on level 18, if you remember that. So it's thought that because of that, it might physically be close to level 18. We don't know, it's level 99 in the ranking, I don't know. But anyways, this nostalgic effect causes the level to produce places and things that the wanderer has seen before, or something very familiar to them. For instance, it might be your elementary school, or your childhood house, or something like that. It somehow knows the places that you've been and has access to all the memories. The first part of the level, where you will start at, will look to be a plain of grass that goes out in all directions. This grass plain is the last normal thing that you're going to see, so prepare yourself. But as you're walking through this empty grass plain, you'll notice that it feels empty and alone. It's just green, fake-looking grass as far as you can see. And as you're walking down these plains, the level will begin to produce black circles in the sky. These are called wormholes. These wormholes look like black smudges, and they will not go away until you jump inside of them or enter them. If you hesitate to jump inside of one, something called a text hallucination will appear in the sky. Now, this is an effect that happened back on level 78 as well, but it's when strange lines of text will actually pop up in the physical sky. Like, you're not just seeing things, they're actually there, and it'll say different things. The text seems ethereal and foreboding, and you're just really scared to look at it for some reason. Like, it makes you feel uncomfortable. Sometimes the text will say negative things, and sometimes it'll be calming and nostalgic. But the text kind of makes you want to jump into the wormholes. It's almost like it's luring you into them. This text effect can happen in any of the subspaces on this level as well. But when you enter these wormholes, you will feel instantly dizzy and you'll be overcome with vertigo. You'll feel like you can't stand, you get all dizzy and numb, and you start to fall into an infinite black void for an unknown amount of time until you reach your destination within these dream subspaces, which I'll get into in a second. But there are 3 anomalous properties that you'll experience while exploring these subspaces. Those are eye decals, sensor rectangles, and sky textures, as well as some of the text that I mentioned. Now, eye decals are manifestations of real eyes, again similar to level 78, but these eyes look like they're watching you and everything else around you. They're constantly moving and blinking, some are floating, some are just on the ground, some are attached to walls and other objects. It just depends. The eyes are very uncanny and unnerving to look at, so try not to. Now, sensor rectangles are 2D black anomalies in the shape of a rectangular void. They appear randomly throughout the sky and the ground and windows inside these dream subspaces, and they seem to have no purpose but to block out random things that don't make any sense. Sky textures are the last anomaly that you might face while exploring these subspaces, and these are randomly and briefly appearing cloud textures that will show themselves where doors or windows or walls or ceilings or floors should be. The sky textures often appear inside of doors and windows and walls, and if you listen really closely to them, you can hear the faint sound of wind blowing through clouds. These sky textures are very unknown and strange. No one knows if you can walk into them, and no one knows why they appear, but you should probably try to stay away from them. I'll touch more on them later though. But now that you know about all the strange anomalies that you might find while exploring these subspaces, let's talk about the actual dreamy areas that you'll have to explore to get out of the level. There are 6 different dream spaces that you will encounter while being here, and dream spaces are the name given to the sub-layers of the main level, and these locations are accessed by those wormholes. This is where those feelings of nostalgia really come into play, since each of these 6 sub-areas is personalized for every wanderer who comes here. The sub-areas are the grassy halls, last day of school, the store, the stairwell, playground, and the walk. And let me explain them all real quick. So grass halls typically consist of one large building with rooms and corridors made out of beige drywall, and there is fake grass on the floor. The grass is said to look fake and real at the same time, which is strange, but inside of this building, some of the walls and the windows and doors will have the appearance of sky textures, which will give this strange outdoor-indoor vibe to people exploring. This has been known to cause derealization effects, so watch out for that as well. You also might find windows and stuff like that that opens to an outside that looks to be a plain of grass and trees. You can actually climb out of the windows and explore those grassy areas. They're just another subspace accessed from within this subspace. Yeah, I know it gets crazy, but it's going to get even crazier. Under the grass on the floor is a carpet-like material that this grass grows out of. And it's unknown how this happens. It's not dirt. It is fake grass actually growing out of carpet. I don't know, whatever. That's crazy. In this sub-area, you may run across a text hallucination or a sky texture, but it's pretty rare. These grass hallways are typically pretty safe. The last day of school is what looks to be an elementary school, specifically the one you went to, that looks like it's on its last day. The ambience is very calming. You can hear soft chatter of students talking and shifting papers and bags. You can't see anything like that though, you just hear it. But the classrooms and hallways and everything here is very vibrant. It's got this huge vibrant vibe to it, and it's similar to how life used to look to all of us as kids. You know, when we were younger, everything was bright and glowy. That's how it looks here. The rooms and halls will literally give you that feeling that you had on the last day of school. You know, that huge adrenaline rush that summer's about to happen. That is the vibe you get here. There's also an outside area to this last day of school subspace where you can literally walk out of the school and you can find your childhood house inside of the subspace. Like, you can walk from the school to your house and it's all fully explorable. Just don't stay too long or you might never leave. You might be tempted to stay forever, which is not good. The store is exactly what it sounds like, and it can be accessed from the last day of school subspace. It's an older looking store that's always after closing time, so it's dark outside and it's got this quiet, eerie silence inside. Here, you might find eye decals, mushrooms, and some text hallucinations in the sky, perhaps. This is one of the more basic subspaces though. Now, the stairwell is a very anomalous subspace, but it seems to be in the shape of a vertical staircase that goes up and down forever. The light in the staircase does not come from actual lights, it comes from sky textures that appear. That is the most common one here, and you'll likely also see some eye decals as well while climbing the stairs. This expansive staircase gives people the sense of dread and sadness, and it just makes everybody feel like they should give up for some reason. Again, it's unknown why, but it's not recommended to come here because exiting is difficult. The playground is an interesting subspace because it kind of acts as a hub for the level. Instead of it being a hub like the actual hub level, here you get on a slide and you slide down it into a wormhole and you'll be sent to a different dream subspace. This is the easiest way to travel from subspace to subspace, and once you find this place, you can pretty much do whatever. The slide seems to be an indoor play place type area with a massive sprawl of different plastic slides, all of which take you to different subspaces, some of them discovered, some of them not. Be careful which ones you get on, that way you don't get lost too deep into these sub areas. And lastly, the walk. Now, the walk is made up of a checkerboard floor that is floating in a place that looks like the void. I don't know if it's the void or not, but it looks like it. On each side of the floor, there are large mushrooms towering over you. The path is completely straight, but it looks like it curves up and down, but since it's so long, you can't actually tell. Now this walk is very important because it is the only way of exiting the level. Like, you have to come through all those other subspaces I mentioned and find this walk, and you have to do the whole thing, walk the entire way to escape. The only things here that you might see are eye decals and those mushrooms appearing. You might also find a random wormhole or two, but at the end of the walk, there are several doors that open to different levels, and that's how you escape. That's the exit. And speaking of that, let's talk about the entrance and exits. To enter the level, you can no-clip on level 96, and you'll have a chance of being sent here. And to exit, you gotta go through all the subspaces to get here, then walk the entire thing, and you'll find those sets of doors at the end, and the doors can open to a ton of different levels, like 0, 4, and 9, and so on. So pick carefully. There are no actual entities here that have been documented besides these strange eyes, maybe a shadow figure or two, and maybe a lost human that's turned into an insanity. That might be all this here, we don't know, it's not confirmed. But yeah, level 99. It's like a huge game of chutes and ladders that's made up of weird liminal spaces that are all connected and shoved together. I really love how you can get to each different part without no-clipping. It makes the level feel so big and just expansive. I think this level's fantastic. This is what a liminal space level should be like. Hope you enjoyed it. I know I did. Thank you so much for watching my explanation of level Animoya. I hope you really enjoyed it. Like I said, I did. Comment below if you want to see other levels do you want me to cover. Like, tell me which ones you want me to go over. Thank you so much for all the support on my channels. Seriously can't believe it. Also, check below in the links if you want to see my Twitter, Discord, Instagram, second, third channel, all that stuff. And with all that said, I'll see you next time in the next video. Goodbye.